President number 7. By no means should you write all those presidents down, but just to give you the time period we can understand, we got Andrew Jackson. Okay. Who wins the election of 1824? Don't say Jackson. Sarah? John Quincy Adams, yes. So the election of 1824, Monroe decides not to run again. I showed you these exact same slides last chapter, and we know that Quincy Adams does win. Okay, Monroe, again, I showed you the exact same. Spain, Adams Onus, Monroe Doctrine, Missouri Compromise, which on the exam, of course, that was a key question. The key vote, everybody? Electoral College. And as we know, John Quincy Adams lost both, but ends up winning the election. Okay. And with the party, they are Democrats. Now, keep in mind, by trade, for lack of a better way of saying it, Henry Clay is a Whig, but he ran as a Democrat in this election. Okay. John Quincy Adams wins, and of course, considered the greatest Secretary of State ever. Okay. Corrupt bargain. Okay, again, just flying through this. What does Quincy Adams become, everybody? President. How about Clay? Secretary of State. Yes, Clay and Jackson despise each other. Mentioned that before, and I do want you to think of that. Clay and Jackson are bitter political enemies. Henry Clay, Jackson called him the Judas of the West. These are grown adult men, name calling, by the way. Okay. Okay. Father, son, Bush, and Adams, we get the idea. And of course, what does John Quincy Adams actually establish, everybody, or accomplish, everybody? Infrastructure, and that's about it. Yes. John Quincy Adams was not very likable, and that did not help him either. Infrastructure is about it. All right, let's review this. Why could you say they both lost in the corrupt bargain? Both won but lost. Bryson?
Because even though they made president, it was kind of miserable for him.
Okay, and what about Clay, Aiden?
He did become president.
Never did become president, yes. Adams leaves office, bitter, upset, did not stick around to see the new president inaugurated. No way. He was not a happy camper. Okay. How about after Adams was president? What did he become? Go ahead. And his legacy was doing what? Fighting slavery, yes. An abolitionist, yes. Okay. Democrats. Andrew Jackson. Let's read through this. Sarah, please.
The now famous Democratic donkey was first associated with Democrat Andrew Jackson's 1828 presidential campaign. His opponents called him a donkey, and Jackson, I'm sorry.
That was very polite of you. Go ahead.
Decided to use an image of the strongest animal on his campaign poster. Later, cartoonist Thomas Nast used the Democratic donkey image in newspaper cartoons and made the symbol famous.
And it was actually used as a symbol of power, of strength, not a derogatory name. Okay. And the donkey has stood the test of time, still the symbol of the Democratic Party. And I want you to know that's why. Okay. Strong-willed animal. Okay. So why the elephant for the Republican Party? Why the elephant? Not quite as easy to explain, but let's take a look at this. Evelyn, please.
Nast invented another famous symbol, the Republican elephant. In a cartoon that appeared in Harper's Weekly in 1874, Nast drew a donkey clothed in lion's skin, scaring away all the animals at the zoo. One of those animals, the elephant, was labeled the Republican vote. That's all it took for the elephant to become associated with the Republican Party.
So it's actually part of like mudslinging. You're scaring the elephant. Sometimes, you might have heard that the elephant is afraid of a mouse, but the elephant was afraid of the donkey. And obviously that shows you some conflicts in presidential elections where we have arguments. But the elephant was afraid of the donkey, which was actually dressed as a lion. And that is the symbol of the Republican Party. Okay? Just throwing that out there. Republican Party is not big during this chapter at all. It doesn't come back till Lincoln becomes president, but I just wanted to mention that. All right, so the election of 1828. Who wins this time? Jackson, and he makes sure he wins this election. Okay, his supporters made sure. All right, let's read the top of the screen there. I think this is interesting. Amy, please.
Clay, and to high degree, Calhoun, and Jackson were bitter personal and political enemies. He also didn't get along with John Quincy Adams.
Okay, so Clay is really the big one, but also Calhoun and Quincy Adams, I want you to know. They did not really like each other. It's not like it was Jackson versus the three of them, but I do want you to be aware of that. His big enemy, his big political rivalry was Clay, but also he doesn't like Calhoun and John Quincy Adams. Now, you might have heard of someone being on their deathbed, God forbid, obviously. But if you're visited by a priest or something like that, you know, and you do your last rites or whatever, or your last confession, take a look at what Jackson said when he was on his deathbed, literally on his deathbed. Bryson.
When I was close to death, I was asked if I had left anything undone. Yes, I didn't shoot Henry Clay, and I didn't hang John C. Calhoun.
True story. True story. But that's the kind of guy Jackson was. He didn't care. He was going to say what he felt, and that's the way it was. Okay? And that's the way it was going to be. Surprised? Not at all. Not surprised. He actually had a parrot at the White House, which they had to hide when guests came over because it muttered impolite words. Okay. You're off Monday as far as assignments over the 3-day break. Take the 3 days off. Have a good break.
What? Right? Our 1 day weekend.
Go ahead and hit the lights if you would there, please.
Our 1 day weekend.